quick, although nothing I do is real quick. I did get the, this panel has been in and working fine. But in order to really get the Tortoises working with the switches, I had to get the other panel on the layout side done, which I did. So that's done, and I'll show you on the other side there quickly kind of what the panel looks like, some of the messy wiring, the diagram and whatnot, and then kind of show the concept, how it's going to operate. I also did, check this out, I added a nice little fancy shelf. Actually, that's just a scrap piece of plywood I found laying around that was the right width, and I just cut it and slapped some stain on it, and now you have a place to put your refreshing beverages as you're working back here. So, alright, so like I said, this side, no lights. Since you're right over the turnouts, the operator can easily see what position they're in, so I didn't go to the, I won't say waste my time, but I didn't go to the extra effort to put lights on this side. However, on the other side, we'll go take a look at that cabinet and see what it looks like, and then I'll show you, how it's supposed to operate. Alright, so here's the panel on the layout side that will control the Fairview, I'll call it the Fairview end of the staging switches from the main layout side. And the only reason I'm doing this, because most operating sessions, at least the way I envision it, there'll probably be a person, whether it's me or an assigned person, I'm not sure yet, working kind of in staging to arrange the trains and get them out, get them in, and get cars on and off to make up the trains throughout the session. So, we'll see. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know. So, this cabinet is to control the switches at the Fairview end, 3 turnouts. And on this side, since you can't see back there, and since this is designed for, so when it's me by myself and I want to bring a train out, or just Steve and I, or just 2 people, just a couple folks working, and you don't have a person back there, you still can at least bring trains in and out of staging. So there's my mess of a cabinet. I did lay things out initially. I know it's a mess. Trust me, I know. I know it's even going to be legible. Don't worry about it. I'm going to redraw these for posterity, because I'll forget that. Now it's all fresh in my mind, but within a week I'll forget all this. So I got to make it a bit neater. It's kind of a mess right now, but basically there's the 2 Tortoises on the deck. There's the Pico machine. There's the PL13, and I did wire down the other contacts, but I'm not using them, because for position indication on the Tortoises, I'm using reverse wire diodes in series with the actual turnout power. There's the cabinet on the staging side, which just has 3 switches. Then there's the cabinet on the Fairview side, which has 3 duplicate switches, and the LEDs to indicate position. The wiring between the Pico turnout, the momentaries, they're basically just parallel with each other. So either one will control the turnout. The Tortoises are a little bit different in order to get that to work. I didn't make this circuit up. I think I saw it on Model Railroad Hobbyist, one of their forums, I think. How to kind of do it. They call it a 3-way. It's not 3-way. It's basically 2 switches that control the turnout. So the F1 switch is wired to the F1 switch. The F1 switch from the Fairview side is wired to the one on the staging side, and the same for F2. And then this is the cable that runs between the 2 areas. It's a 12 conductor cable. I need 11, so I use that. I did write all the colors down. Again, I want to translate that. That's the capacitive discharge unit that feeds mostly on the staging side for the power for the Pico turnout. And there's also a 3 conductor cable that runs over from the PL13 contacts over to the cabinet on the layout side. Does anyone care about this? Probably not. Anyway. And this is my diagram of the actual control box here on this side. Again, I want to redo all this so it's nice and neat. And you can see on the layout side, I have it, actually I'm glad my kids took drum lessons, because here's the music, like the instruction book, the music book support. That's what I'm using to hold my panel while I wire it. And as you can see, I've been testing it, so everything's normal, and everything is normal. I had to flop the leads for the F2 switch, that second Tortoise, to get the lights to indicate correctly. And now everything seems to work. Because from this side, well, I'll reassemble it, because it's a little hard to hold a camera and try to throw turnouts. I don't want anything to short out. I think we'll be okay. But So there's a menagerie of wires that are there, and again, they're kind of that way. They're a little bit long. It's hard. Again, I don't claim to be an expert, but I want to be able to lay the panel down so I ever have to work on it. So that's why these leads are a little bit long. But let me get it together, and then we'll kind of show real quickly how it works, if it still works. So far it's working. And you'll see the remote operation from the main layout side for the staging area. Okay, here we go. There's a little cabinet mounted up. You see the lights are on. The lights are on, and everything's normal. I verified that. In terms of position of that little bad boy, again, this was an afterthought, and it's really probably not the best place for it. If I kind of back up, you can see it's in the skinny aisle here, but I didn't really have. It would have been worse here, just because you have to walk through there. I didn't want to put it up on the backdrop, really around here, and you're kind of getting further and further and further away. So I just picked that spot. And if you kind of walked, I mean, it's a single person aisle anyway. You're kind of going to come along here and just kind of scoochy around it. So like that, it didn't seem like a big deal. If it's not, I guess if it really gets to be a problem, I'll try to move it. But I thought I'd have it, underneath, but then you can't really see it that well. I could have done it flat and put it flush again. Anyway, it's just, we'll see how it goes. So, like I said, if you're on this side, let me just scooch you back over here. And it's just you and you want to bring a train out, and I'm going to label this probably. This is the main, and this is, west staging, 1, 2, 3. East staging, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to bring a train out of here. Now, I'm not sure which way the switch has got to go, but, oh, I was right. All right, so that should have thrown the Pico reverse. And then what I'll do, I'll throw them all reverse, and we'll go over and see if they are reverse over there. Okay, you hear the tortoise crawling over there. Okay, so now this indicates that all the turnouts are reversed. Let's walk over and see if they really are. Okay, here we are back at staging. And it does look like, yeah, that's reverse. That's reverse. And that's reverse. Alright, so it seems to work okay. And the lights are indicating that they're all reverse. Now the issue, not the issue, what you have to be aware of with this, because of the paralleling nature of the switches from the staging side to the layout side, you can't really, well, you can't at all, rely on the switches to give you the indication. Like this is down right now, so you'd think it's normal. This is up, it's reverse. This is a momentary, so that doesn't really matter. But for the two Tortoise ones, you're not really going to be able to rely. You have to look at it. That's why I had to put lights on the other side. And back in here, you're going to have to look at it to physically see, because this looks like it wants to be normal. It's not. So to go normal, so you have to do that. And then for this one to go normal, it's going to seem like it's right, because I'm going to... And then that one goes normal. And then for this to go normal, I'm not sure which way to do it, but let's try it. Let me just swing this camera over here, and... Nope. There it goes. So again, the operator is going to have to understand, you have to rely on visually looking at the turnout position, because of the inner wire nature, the parallel nature between the, especially the Tortoises. With a Pico, it's like you push it one way, if it doesn't go, just throw it the other way, and the turnout should go. So the only thing you have to be aware of is that you cannot rely on the switch positions, because this looks like that's normal and that's reverse. They're not. They're both normal. Just come up here and verify that slowly. I can see that that one's normal, and that one's normal. So that's the only caveat. But let's go back on the other side, now that everything's normal, and see if the lights agree with that on the other side. Ooh, what a relief. So all these lights are indicating normal, so that's right. Again, you can't rely, well, on this side they both look like they're normal, so you can now, but you need to go by the lights. That's going to tell you the position of the turnout. Because eventually when you're flopping back and forth and whatnot, at some point, these toggles won't agree with the actual position. The lights should always be correct. If I did my wiring right and I don't think it's frayed or broken, or so far it's looking good. So, all right, so that is the remote operation. I'll go ahead and just add some labels to this just so you know what's what. And then the other thing I need to do, let's just pop over to Sharon real quick to show where the other panel might go. All right, so for this end of staging, the Sharon end of staging, it's right through there. Again, I have another cabinet to duplicate. It's a little bit bigger because there's 5 turnouts, all picos. So in this case, it's going to be a little bit simpler. Don't have to worry about the double throws, and it's a little bit more complicated wiring the tortoises in parallel, but it worked okay. Put it somewhere in here. I'm not exactly sure. Again, it's not going to be nearly as in the way as the other one may be, just because it's out of the aisle. It's, there's plenty of room on this side, so I don't think it'll be that big a deal. I do have the cables running over. They just kind of drop through right now, so I want to get that one done as well. But I'm not as worried about it, just because if we ever do a mini session, we'll have to run back and forth. But I will work on this to get this one up as well. And you can see I don't even have the fascia or anything up on this side yet, so I need to work on that. Okay, so that just kind of shows, briefly, like anything I do is briefly. Hope you guys know that by now. How I did the remote operation of the staging turnouts. So on the layout side, you can control them. So that's that. All right. Now it's time to get back to work. Like I said, maybe I'll just post this as a mini update. Wouldn't that be exciting? Now it's time to get back over here and get this mess worked on. I need to start getting the factory, at least getting the track in. I like to get all the track done. Just get it done, get it wired, all the turnout switch machines in, a new cabinet for over here, get everything done so it operates. Because then at least we can start having a little mini op session to try. We could do it now, but you can say I got no factory work. I have a mess over there. Then I got to get back over here, because this is where the engine service area is going to be added along in here off of these tracks. So I need to get that done too. But for that, I need to make sure all the work is done back here and yada, yada, yada. But we're getting there. So at least now with the staging done, and once I get this really the last thing I got to do to really call that 100% complete is get this remote panel done. But now it's time to get back on this side, because I still have to paint all this track, start redoing the scenery and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, a lot to go, but progress being made. So stay tuned. We're going to keep pushing at this to try to get this thing as far along as I possibly can before the end of the summer. All right, so a few more creature comforts were added back here, just to add as part of this. Again, I said, this shelf here for stuff, I don't know, pencils, pens, drinks. And then I had one of these laying around. This is, I think, New River Models. Cute little thing there. So there you go. Operator can put his refreshing beverage in that. That's kind of at the end. They're out of the way. I threw in one of these throttle holders just to be able to have that out of the way. And for the capacitive discharge unit, I added this. And that's probably hard to see, but just so we don't have to crawl underneath. I don't like doing that anymore. So I added a nice little illuminated rocker there that turns the capacitive discharge unit on and off, so you know that it's on. It physically is mounted. Yeah, you can't see. I'll try to lighten that, but it's underneath there. So that's where that is, out of the way. And then with that little thing there. So that's it. That's now it's time to get moving here, right? Let's get some trains running. So maybe next time we'll try showing some trains running on this little layout, which is what it's meant for, right?